Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome back to another episode of Lumber and Loggers presented by Draft Day Sports. A couple of guys talking about two of America's favorite pastimes, beer and baseball. My name is Pat, and with me tonight I have...
CJ. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
So, I had a good time the other night, CJ.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With what?
On Draft Day Sports.
Oh,
Talking
football.
Talking a little football, you know, that was pretty cool. But I am glad to be back on Lumber and Loggers. I feel like this is a little bit more, I don't know. It's getting to the, I'm excited about football, so it was cool to be on there. But getting to talk about baseball right now, and it's coming down to the stretch here. It's a long season, you know. It's a long season, but
this is a long season, and when you like a team like the Cardinals recently, they like to start letting you down, but then give you a little hope.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Hope.
That's all it is. They're just gonna give me a little hope, and then they're gonna stab me in the heart again, and that's exactly, it's the story as old as time. So, but yeah, so if you guys are as excited for football as I know CJ and I are, give Draft Day Sports a listen. Check it out. Like I said, I got to guess what did Big Al keep saying? Come off the bench, pinch hit.
Pinch hit.
Yeah, I got to pinch hit on Draft Day Sports and talk a little bit of football. And as I've mentioned on here before, and I mentioned a lot on Draft Day Sports, I solely talk about the offensive lines. It's all about winning in the trenches, all about the Hogs,
Big
baby.
boys.
Yep, got to give them the recognition they deserve, man. So, but
I
yeah,
wouldn't want to be down there.
Oh, I loved it. You get to hit somebody every play. It's great.
Hey, guess what?
What is that? No way. Pepsi. Oh, it's a Pepsi? Ah, you got my hopes up.
I know.
It's a little
at least
Pepsi.
I got the nice, in the crack.
Dude, Pepsi out of a can. Tell me I'm wrong. Pepsi out of a can is better than out of a bottle or anything else. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have to agree with that. Although the Mexican Cokes you get from Chipotle, they're in a glass bottle.
Oh,
mint.
I was gonna say cervezas, but that's beer.
Yeah.
What are those? They're like cuevas. What are those called?
Cuevos.
I don't remember what those are called. How do you little sidebar about beer real quick? How do you prefer your beer, sir? Like, do you prefer bottles, cans, drafts? Like, how do you like your beer?
So anything like hazy, I like poured.
Okay.
Anything like lagery, I kind of like from a bottle.
Okay.
And then obviously anything like quick drinking, beer pong beer, party beer, like light beers, I can just drink right out of the can.
Okay.
Or shotgun if you're a man.
Yeah. No,
I think that's about it. Like I like my hazy beers because I feel like it because you can get more of the smell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think just a lager out of like an ice cold bottle is just
Yeah.
So
I
although sometimes you get the metal taste on the tip of the metal bottle or the glass bottle.
Oh, that's just from the cap sitting on there, right?
Yeah. Adds flavor.
I'm not a big like pour into a glass kind of guy, and I know there are certain beers that you're supposed to do that with because it's like aerating it out or whatever, right? But I'm a real sucker for ice cold glass bottle, like Michelob Ultra. If you get a real cold glass bottle of Michelob Ultra, it's the best. It's so good. It just goes down like water.
Michelob Ultra, huh?
Listen, I'm trying to watch my figure. No, it's to me, Mick Ultra is like, it's from Anheuser-Busch, so you know it's a fine, superior Anheuser-Busch product, and and it's like light, and it doesn't give me a headache. Like Miller Lite, we used to drink Miller Lite as like on pitcher nights, right?
Yep.
And now I can't even drink one can of Miller Lite without it giving me a hangover the next day. It's weird. I don't know what changed, but Michelob Ultras, I don't have any issue with that. So that's usually like my go-to if you're out and about and you can't find something, a little bit more fancy. But yeah, Mick Ultra is usually my. As I said on Draft Day Sports, if you guys want to, check that out, it's the old reliable. You always know what you're going to get with it. So
That's fair.
But
yeah,
that I have something
I
different.
Have mine is Miller Lite. My old reliable is
Really?
Miller Lite or Stella.
Or Stella. See, I don't know. Stella, can Stella be considered an old reliable? Is it everywhere?
Yes.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time it's ever on draft.
It's a little fancy for me, so I don't like draft beer. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of draft beer. I've been to some.
Can be so inconsistent.
I've been to some shady bars that don't clean their tubes, like their draft tubes. Yeah, exactly right. And so like the beer tastes terrible, and like I have a thing. Like at least I know if it's coming from a glass bottle, it's like clean. It's like secure.
Relatively, yeah.
I
Secure. I like secure better.
Yeah, it's secure. Like I don't have to worry about having mold in the tubes because they haven't cleaned their system. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, dude. It tastes. You're like, this tastes like.
Abby bit into a moldy fry today.
Oh, from where?
Like where it's like black. And she bit in. She was.
All right. Well, I do have a beer tonight. It is not Michelob Ultra. We stopped in. Abby's on the hunt for. Oh,
Good at boys.
What's the Southern Tier? It's a Southern Tier pumpkin beer, but it's got caramel.
Yeah, Pumpkin King.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Caramel pumpkin. It's got caramel in it too, I guess. She's on the hunt for that. So we stopped at a beer distributor tonight, and no free shout-outs. I'm not going to say where it was. And
wow.
Yeah, we got to start.
You have to like and follow us.
Yeah, we got to start branding a little bit here, But this.
Wait, so that's what you're drinking?
No, we didn't find it. We're still on the hunt for that. But this can here caught my eye.
Oh, Fan Zone.
Fan Zone? Is that like the name? Okay, so I've never heard of this before. It's from Ellicottville Brewing. It's called Pittsburgh Fan Zone is what it says on the can. But the can's really cool. It's like covered in like fans like tailgating with Steeler stuff on and like black and gold. Like it's a really cool can. It's very Yinza,
Yinza.
Very Yinza, which I'm slowly descending into the darkness of being a Yinzer, sadly.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Before you know it, I'll be a Steeler fan.
If you become a Steeler fan, I get to punch you in the nuts.
But
there's too many of you.
I will never be a Pirates. Well, like a slight Pirate fan, not a real Pirates fan. It'll always be Cardinals. But so tonight I have Ellicottville's IPA Fan Zone, Pittsburgh Fan Zone. That's what I'm drinking.
So just an IPA, so it's gonna be a little bitter.
That's way bitter. Okay. So we got the beer out of the way. Now let's talk the other of America's favorite pastimes, baseball. All right. CJ, we got some news. We had some happenings going on.
Yeah, there's a couple two surprising moves, one unsurprising. Although that unsurprising thing was sad.
Are you talking about Joey? You talking about Joey Votto retired?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you're sad about that. As a Cardinals fan, you're sad about that?
Not as a Cardinal fan, as a fan of baseball.
Okay.
He's been around for a long time. He was our generation.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great hitter. He was a great gamer, I must say.
Oh yeah.
Like he loved the game.
Yep.
He was fun to watch. He was probably one of the better average hitters of our generation. Like he hit for average, I think, right?
Yeah. Joey Votto was a gamer, and he really liked to mess with the fans. Yep. He was a Reds favorite, but everybody else hated him. I know as a Cardinals fan, I didn't like him. And he would mess with fans all the time. He'd act like he was going to sign a ball, and then he wouldn't throw it into the crowd and stuff like that. But he did have a good career. He's a 6-time All-Star and the 2010 MVP for the National League.
He hit 294 for a career. 356 home runs, 2,100 hits. It's a pretty good career.
Yeah, he had a good career.
Oh, plus he's Canadian.
He is. Yeah, he's Canadian, which is interesting. Yeah, he played 17 years in the big leagues, and
It's impressive.
I think one of the coolest things about Joey Votto, and one of the things that people gave him a hard time about was that he walked a lot. Like a lot of the time, he would rather walk than swing the bat and get out. So sometimes that didn't create RBIs, but at the same time, his on base percentage was really high. So it's one of those interesting, like maybe he just saw the writing on the wall of things changing in baseball. I mean, being 40 years old too doesn't help, but.
He had 2010. He batted .324, had 91 walks, but struck out 125. I thought he was a little bit better contact hitter, but
I'd be curious to see where that 125 strikeouts relate.
would rank today.
Yeah. But yeah, Joey Votto retiring is kind of, it's sad, like you said. It's sad for baseball. It's not sad for
Correct.
Cardinals fans. Ellie De La Cruz has 167 strikeouts so far this year.
I'm looking at it right now.
So
Yeah, so he wouldn't even be 134. He would be, right now, he'd be like tied for, or he'd be 20th, but the season's not even, it's still another month and a half. So, yeah, oh, Jesus, guess who's up there? Number 10.
in strikeouts.
Oh, look who number 3 is.
In strikeouts, I changed it. I was looking at walks for a second.
Oh, Nolan Gorman is number 3.
Yeah,
number 10 is Paul Goldschmidt.
That's why he got sent down, and that's why I think Paul Goldschmidt should get DFA'd. Ooh, a fruited sour. Are you cracking that?
Cranberry grape.
Are you cracking that open tonight?
No, these are the ones I'm bringing down
Oh, nice.
next week.
Nice. We could talk a little bit about. We have some exciting news. We'll be discussing on next week's podcast. We got Lumber and Loggers is going mobile, and pretty excited about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
We should do an epi.
oh, we could. That'd be pretty neat. We'll talk about that more next week. Well, maybe we can hash out something like doing an episode or doing something anyway. But yeah. So Joey Votto retired. Speaking of DFA'd, Jason Hayward got DFA'd, and I really this isn't huge news, but I just wanted to kind of, because I had talked to you a little bit about it earlier. There seems to be a decent amount of big name players getting DFA'd recently, and Jason Hayward's just kind of like the latest. And I wonder if maybe it's just names that I recognize and they're kind of aging out that people are getting DFA'd. But and for those of you that don't know, DFA is designated for assignment, which basically means you just fire them, cut them from your team. There's rules and stipulations about if they clear through all 30 or other 29 teams. If they don't want them, you can sign them back to a minor league deal or something like that. But
yeah, DFA is weird.
yeah. So, but
It's not just cutting. It's releasing to waivers. Is that what you said?
yeah, it's releasing to waive. They have to clear waivers, and then they can come back into your organization or something like that. It's very strange. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It's because you can only be DFA'd if you're on the 40-man roster.
Right, and you don't
have any assignments,
any
to
options.
go down.
Yeah,
It's baseball is so weird. It's so gimmicky.
yeah.
So many weird rules. Just send them down. I don't know.
Send them. Send them down. Be able to call somebody else up. But that's the issue. So they needed to clear space probably on their 40-man roster, and so they had to DFA them in order to call somebody else up.
I'm okay bringing up Luke and Baker.
Yeah, Luke and Baker's dude. That guy looks like the most unathletic. You want to talk about offensive line and hogs? That dude looks like a freaking left tackle. He is built,
and he can hit the ball.
Yeah, apparently. Maybe he can teach.
Our best contact hitter is Alec Burleson, apparently.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
All right, last piece of news here. We got Mariners firing their manager, which is crazy because they were leading the AL West for the longest time, and then they've really been sputtering.
Skidding.
Yeah.
Skid marks.
So they actually fired their manager, Scott Servais, and they hired Dan Wilson, who is a Mariner Hall of Famer and former catcher, as their interim manager for the time being. the Mariners are 2-8 in their last 10. So they felt like they needed a switch up, and we talked about it at the beginning of the season. The Mariners have the pitching to be very good. The problem is they just don't have any offense. So
yeah, and I feel like a 62-62 record isn't a fireable record. I mean, were they really expecting to win a World Series this year?
We fired Mike Schilt, and he had a winning record, and yet we've kept Ollie Marmol, who has a losing record.
Uh-oh. Don't get that going.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like I said, the big thing is that they started off, and then they have just fallen apart, and Houston has come screaming into first place. I mean, Seattle's 5 games back of Houston now. So they're...
Well, you know what helped that collapse and that firing? Detroit.
Oh, really?
They're my hot team right now.
Okay.
7-3 their last 10. They swept Seattle.
Yeah.
And then they took 2 of 3 from the Yanks.
And it's not... and the Tigers are 62-66 on the season. They're on the outside looking in now. I know... Beginning of they sold at the deadline too because they traded Jack Flaherty away.
The Dodgers,
yeah,
stupid. You must be happy. Same thing with Tommy Edman.
Do you see Jack Flaherty getting into it with not Teoscar Hernandez? Who was the Randy Arozarena? Now on Seattle, so he did hit him. He hit Randy, and then the next time up, Randy hit flew out, and I guess they started jawing at each other. Benches cleared. It seems like the benches clear all the time now. It's crazy, and like
it's like pitchers are like wide receivers, man. Their egos are so sensitive.
Oh yeah, very dramatic for sure.
Especially with the umpires like cracking down on the whole, oh, you hit a home run and you're going to take your time around the bases, I'm going to hit you next time, right?
Yeah.
Like if they see that, it's almost like an instant.
Yeah, instant gone.
It's no more warnings,
right.
Really. So they definitely cracked down on that.
For sure.
Which kind of sucks. I miss the good old days of, well, you accidentally hit one of our, let's say when Pujols got hit, right? You know what your top player is getting beamed.
Oh, yeah.
I miss those days.
The old school, but we don't want people getting hurt. Which, there's a right way of there's a right way of doing it.
Hit them in the hip or the leg
with off speed. Don't throw your fastball. Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Chapman, 105.
That would hurt. I would
cry. I would cry like a little bitch down on the ground. Who's your hot team?
My hot team right now is the Atlanta Braves. They are 7-3 in their last 10. They're sitting in the final wild card spot right now, playing some pretty good baseball at the moment. And a big part of that is my nominee for laying the lumber, which is Marcell Ozuna.
Again?
It pains me. I'm not a huge Marcell Ozuna fan, but I looked at his average, and I know he's trying to chase a triple crown in the National League. I don't know Marcell Ozuna.
What?
Yeah, he's leading the NL in average at 308. He is
That's sad.
Second in home runs to Shohei Ohtani by 2, and he is leading the NL in RBIs.
What?
Yeah, he's chasing. So for him to hit 524, that's going to help his chase for the Triple Crown. It's going to be overshadowed by Judge winning the overall Triple Crown, but yeah, Ozuna's...
Holy crap. Next closest is Arias at 302.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's rough. But,
oh, yeah, 37 and 94. Look at that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I can't stand the guy, but respect. You got to respect it. What about you, CJ?
I still can't believe freaking Aaron Judge. How is Aaron Judge still... He's got 135 strikeouts, but he's got a 334 batting average.
I don't understand that either. And you look at the walks, he and Juan Soto.
104 walks.
Yeah, he and Juan Soto lead the league in walks with 106 and 104.
By a lot.
So just walk both of those guys every time. You can beat the Yankees. It's not a bad strategy. It's not. It's not a bad strategy.
Maybe the Cardinals will do it. We play the Yankees next week.
Let me call up Ollie. I'll let him know the strat. Tell him what's up. All right. What about you, CJ? You got who's your nominee for laying the lumber this week?
Laying the lumber is bad boy Jarren Duran from Boston.
What?
Bad boy because
I don't even want. Can we say it? Can we?
I'm not gonna say what he said.
He said some inappropriate things. Some cancelable.
Correct. So a fan was John Adam while he was at bat. He turned, and being close to the ump's always mic'd up, I think, or there must be a camera or something close. But it picked him up saying, "Shut up, the F word," but not F-U-C-K. It was a derogatory term towards gay people. So he got a 2-game suspension. But funnier things have happened. His jersey was the top selling for a week.
See, is that true? Did you vet that?
I went on MLB.com and that's what it said.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
I thought you were just
it wasn't just like random article.
Yeah, some.
No,
Facebook.
I did look it up. So
okay, I'll allow it.
But it was just the week.
Okay.
But yeah, but he's hitting 400, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs the last 7 games, and Boston's been kind of up or down, but he said 10 hits, 3 doubles. To me, that's laying the lumber. He's got a 1.363 OPS. That's third in the last 7 games. Guess who number 1 is still?
Who?
Aaron Judge.
Crushing the ball.
I'm going to give you updates every week. 5 home runs, 8 RBIs, only 2 walks, only 4 Ks in the last 7 games for Aaron Judge. Raised his average by 0.002 points. He's hitting 348 in that time.
Wild.
That's crazy, man. That's him and Bobby Witt's still hitting too, by the way.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna come down to average if he can get the Triple Crown, but it'll be tight.
Toit like a toiga.
I want to mention some pitchers here because we have in the last 7 days we have quite a few guys that have been pitching some shutout ball. You have Garrett Cole, who's had 2 outings in the past 7 days, combined 12 innings pitched, no earned runs given up. 10 strikeouts in those games, and then Shane Baz, not sure how to say that. From Tampa Bay, he pitched 7.2 innings. He gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, and you have a complete game shutout.
Complete game shutout.
Luis Severino from the Mets pitched a complete game shutout. He had a hit by pitch and a walk and 2 hits. Or no, I'm not. 4 hits. 4 hits. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one.
Damn.
Who did he do that
impressive.
against? Was it against his the Yankees? Because wasn't he highlighted on or was that a couple weeks ago? Let's see.
Let me look here. 8/22. It was against Miami.
Oh, well, that makes more sense. Never mind. That's a good team to get a shutout against for sure. Miami's definitely struggling a little bit this season.
Does he pitch out of the bullpen?
Severino?
Because against San Diego today, he only pitched 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
Maybe he got hurt. I don't know, but he's not. No, because he started the game against the Marlins.
Maybe he's still pitching. Oh, it's because he's still pitching.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Bottom third.
All right.
I didn't know it updated it like that. That's crazy.
So those are some of the hot players around the league. Some nationally televised games to look at coming up. You have on Sunday, you have the Astros and the Orioles, 2 of the top teams in the AL. And then on Monday on ESPN, you have the Astros and Phillies, which you can watch Justin Verlander pitch. He's just coming back. I don't think he's been around. He hasn't pitched in too many games. So he's still trying to get get stretched out and get ready for the postseason here. And then on Wednesday on Amazon Prime, you have the Yankees and the Nationals. You have Rodon going against Gore.
The Nationals actually aren't terrible.
They
aren't terrible. They're 58-70. But they're better than I thought they would. They have more wins than I thought they would.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. They have definitely been much better than I was expecting, and they definitely were at the beginning of the year. They were giving teams trouble for sure. I think the better teams you start to see towards the end of the season, like you always say that baseball's very streaky. You know, it's ups and downs. The best teams level out the most, and that's so like the Nationals were pretty good at the beginning of the season, but it's a long season. It's hard to maintain that. So,
right, yeah, the best teams though they consistently win series. So like honestly, like last 10, 6-4 is a great record.
Yeah,
means you're winning series.
Yep, because that's every 2 out of 3. You just got to win 2 out of 3, or if you have a 4-game series, just split it, win 2. You want to win 2 games from every series, and that's a really good year. You figure that's going to get you to finish like 100 wins, and that's more or less winning your division most of the time. So, all right. So, CJ, my beer here, the Pittsburgh Fan Zone from Ellicottville.
The Yinza.
It's very Yinza, black and gold, baby. It's
Gross.
very bitter. And I won't say very bitter.
It's an IPA.
Yeah, it's an IPA. It's
not a New England. It's an IPA.
It's an IPA,
so.
and it's a single. It's a single. It's not bad. The can got me though. When I post this on social media, you got to check out the can. The can's pretty sick. So
I do enjoy some good artwork sometimes. That makes the beer better.
I just appreciate it. And I'm a sucker for good advertising, and that's what really gets me. You know, if you have a cool can, there's a good chance I'm going to buy it, whether it tastes like butt or if it tastes really good.
Or you have a cool gun commercial, take my money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, CJ, for next week, I want you to think about, we're going to build a pitcher. So we're going to go with, I think we want to do current pitchers. You want to do current pitchers?
Let's do current.
Okay.
Or like 2000. You want current? I mean, current means playing now, I guess.
Yeah. We could do 2000s, just, like guys that we've seen pitch.
Yeah, let's do guys we've seen pitch.
Okay, so like 2000s and on, basically. So that'll be like...
Are we talking specific pitches? Are we talking...
No, we're going to talk arm, arm,
mind,
control,
accuracy, stamina,
yeah,
velo.
Yeah. So I'm going to write...
I do like, though, because
write this down.
pitchers are famous for some of their pitches.
Ooh.
Like Chapman's fastball.
Okay, all right.
What's his name? Verlander's slider.
All right, so we're going to do single pitch.
That shit's tight.
Single pitch.
I think we can just mix it up.
Velo.
Like, what do you think would be a good pitcher?
Velo.
Rivera's cutter.
Stamina. Single pitch, velo, head, stamina, and control. So like painting corners, like Greg, is it Greg Maddux? They always say that about Greg Maddux. You don't pay Greg Maddux to paint your house because he only paints the corners.
Okay, dad joke.
Yeah, that is a dad joke. Come back next week for more dad jokes if that's what you're into.
That's something your dad would say, I feel.
Probably. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Again, I just want to give a shout out. Check out. I know football season's coming. Check out Draft Day Sports. Get some more beer recommendations
Football
and reviews, as well as bets and just overview of football with a little bit of fantasy splashed in by CJ. Check out Draft Day Sports for that. You can find us, Lumber and Loggers, presented by Draft Day Sports. You can find us on social media on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Lumber and Loggers, all one word. The "and" is spelled out. There's no ampersand. Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Peace.